Welcome back, guys, to another training recap with me, Oscar, also known as Black Bright. Today we're going to talk about a trade that I made on ACHV. It turned out to be a really good trade, or not the best trade that I made, but for sure a good profit. I made around 11% on this trade, and I made 165 bucks, which is a great gain with the account size that I'm currently in. I'm in at 3K, so that's a significant increase of my account size. It's taking it not slow and steady, but I'm taking it rather slow. I don't wanna like go all in, so to say. I also just want to promote that I have been working out my verification with Trade Zero, so my trade is going to be verified later on, probably tomorrow. And before that, you can just see, and there's no reason to doubt me even. Just zoom in like really big, and you see my entry 527, my exit 471 in of an average. I covered at in three pieces. So let's talk about the main setup. ACHV is basically one of those gap and crabs that I've been looking for the last couple of weeks. And what I want to look for is the crappy SEC filings, up on hype news, you know the routine, especially if you've watched previous videos. But I also want to talk about some key lessons and some key things that I did good, that I took on from yesterday's trade. So I did a bad trade yesterday for those who haven't watched that video. It's basically a forced trade where I wasn't meticulous enough. I didn't check through the filings enough, so I missed that the stock had an ATM, which was really critical because like that's one of the core items within the strategy. So my main lesson was for myself was to be more meticulous and fill out my trading checklist. And so I did. I was being super meticulous. I was going through many of the filings. Like I was trying to check it out, like really meticulous, and just being sure that I got it. Why I took the trade at market open and not pre-market was mainly because the stock was not trading any significant at these levels, and then I didn't even locate or accept my locates until we squeezed or pushed over this initial pre-market high of 507. Then I took my locates right here, and then I just wanted this to keep going as high as possible. And there is a specific or a certain percentage wise that is normal for these stocks to gap up or set their highs in pre-market. So I was a bit tempted to take this trade even pre-market, as we were somewhat reaching that level. I won't say what level it is because that's just giving away free work. You gotta put in the hours yourself to get that percentage wise. But enough about that. Why I didn't want to take this was mainly because we just briefly got to that level, and secondly, it's really unclear how big or low float this has, the stock. And both Finviz and Yahoo Finance says that it's basically just above 1 million or just below 1 million. Anyhow, the stock isn't a big float, meaning that it could basically rip at market open. So I didn't want to hold any shares based off pre-market action that just were sideways and didn't dilute like crazy, like we have seen other stocks with really big ATMs do. So what I wanted to do was basically wait for the market open and see what happened. And if we were going to get that panic or that decrease, I was really secure that this was going to collapse because all of the reasons like ATMs we have warrants outstanding, we have discounted shares. So we have a lot of selling pressure in this. And that's exactly what we got. We got this first brief panic, and then I was just looking to short into that first bounce. And I was risking off the high of day. And in hindsight, when I look at it, I probably took a not too big of a size, but probably I don't know if it's too big or not, but it's at this fine line of being absolutely perfect or absolutely or just tipping over too big. So I took 300 shares, risking basically half my account, which is not ideal, especially not on a low float stock that can just rip your face off. But luckily, as I am, this turned out to be a good one, and I don't know. It's probably not too much of luck due to all of the major factors within the filings, but you have to be willing to risk that. So I was basically risking like 6 or 7%, which is kind of big, but it turned out to be a good trade, and I scooped some up. I also gonna give me props right away for I don't know, trade number 9. My profit, my first big profit, or quote unquote big profit, on SBOT was one of the major things that I should improve on from that trade was being more patient with my exits, because in SBOT I took some shares off just as we cracked that first part of the leg of a crackdown or a breakdown. So I did a really good job of waiting for that continuation and the second leg down of a crack to take profits in. So that's big props right away. Then we basically traded in a channel, and we basically traded in this channel right here. And I didn't, of course, wanna take off any shares in the high of a channel, and of course I don't want to take it off mid range. But as this tested this area over and over and over again, I was thinking, okay, we had that. It's like 10% or 10 minutes of pure panic. This could potentially bounce. And if shorts are going to get scared and wanting to cover that are over aggressive in this area, it could squeeze like a maniac, and especially as it's a low float. So I took 1/3 off right here as well. So 1/3 here, 1/3 here. Then as we broke above this channel level, I took my last third off here. And I said, like, screw it, I don't want to be in this. This is probably just going to fade off, but I'm not going to risk it, not with this low float stock. It's just not worth it. And then I said, basically, this is probably just a quote-unquote cover bounce, where shorts are covering and getting squeezed at the same time. And that turned out to be a case. And a potential reshort could have been into this major bounce from the low that we set at the 480 level. That could have been a nice bounce to short into, and the more times I see this setting up, I'll be getting more and more comfortable to short into this. But that's further on. But the main lessons to take off from this trade is mainly two, I think. First off, always try to react. Never predict what's going to happen. And when you have a stock that is trading sideways at its highs in pre-market, you do not want to predict which way it's going to go, especially on stocks with low float, because they can, as well as this just tanked, it could as well has done the opposite and just ripped. It could have pulled off this type of action in the market open. So main lesson right there: don't try to predict anything. React, rather react. It's not worth it to try to predict and then you're wrong. Secondly, I was good at covering up some, but I could have been a bit quicker. I was a bit too patient with this because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests of this support area. And I should have recognized this earlier, that okay, this is not breaking down, I should probably size down. But you know, it ended up being well. But main thinking or main lessons to take on until next time, at least from my part, for me to improve on or to keep on doing even, is when we're trading this sideways price action in, and when we're near market open, don't try to predict, just do as you did this time. Stay until market open and wait to see where the stock is going to go. Apart from that, I did a really good job on this, and basically going to look into this kind of setup where we have this big drop and then a bounce. Start tracking that, see if I can find an edge there. And until then, I hope you guys have I hope you guys did a good day of trading as well, and I hope you guys can learn something from this. Not too many lessons from this, because I basically did a really good job on this trade. Probably took, I don't know, it's a very fine line between too much and perfect size on this, but in the end I did a good trade on this. And as always, guys, remember to be meticulous. That's the main ingredients that made me succeed with this trade. Following my trading checklist and just being meticulous, checking that okay, there was warrants, or yes, there was ATMs, at what date was there, blah blah blah, etc. So just be meticulous, guys, and the rest will work out, I promise you. And peace.